in the morning in whichever hotel we're at. I think it's Jury's in. Looks really fancy, but actually it's not amazing. But I'm grateful to be here and have an opportunity to be here. So back to the point. Today's live is I was talking to my brother Manpreet, and he was talking about sleep. And although today's live is about something else, I wanted to talk about sleep because one thing I've been working on this a little while. I'm going to share a couple of things that work really well for me. Is Dapper, thanks for joining. Brinda, Sai, Simran, thanks for joining. Simran, Annie, Hergio, Katrina, thanks for joining. Let me show you around the hotel. Just leave my work here for a minute. Hotel lobbies are great places to work because they never actually sleep. There's always something going on. So if you can hear me, just give me a heart. And if you're watching this live, just hashtag live. And if you're watching this repeat, then just hashtag repeat. As you can see, there's nobody here apart from me. But that's quite nice. And I came down this morning and I thought, oh, that looks really cozy. And I sat by the fireplace and I realised it's not actually a fireplace, it's just a piece of decor. So it's not warm at all. So I'm going to go back over to my little hub over there where there's some light. But back to the point, I was talking to Manpreet about sleep, and he was saying that he's at a camp at the moment in Canada, and when he's there, as we do when we're out, like I'm out at the moment, we can just really burn the candle at both ends. So we can work really hard and try and have lots of fun and make memories, but then we kind of exhaust ourselves. Like yesterday I went to the beach, right, and I ended up probably walking about 12,000 steps, and that wasn't without me trying. That was just playing with the kids on the beach. And that's not what I usually do, even when I'm trying to be fit and exercise on a regular basis. That's usually a stretch for me. So you can do like a lot when you're out and out of routine, and it can be tiring. So you've got to make sure you get enough rest. And we were talking about how you can often think, I want to make the most of this occasion, so let me sleep less. And that kind of strategy doesn't really work, because then during the times that you're awake, you can't get the best out of those times. Like for me, you can ask my wife, Dr. Darshan Kaur, if I don't get enough sleep, I'm really cranky and really ratty. I'm not very nice to be around. So it works in everyone's best interest to just and what works for me is to have a block of sleep at night, however many hours, and then to have a nap, or I call it meditation time. So to do some meditation time, and then I fall asleep during that. But I wake up refreshed, like I've had a coffee. And that routine works well for me, and it means I get my work done, it means I get to train, do my workouts, and also it means that I keep on top of all my family commitments and doing that. But that's what works for me. It might not work for you. So you've got to figure out what works for you, and this live is all about creating strategy around what works for you. So the reason I found out what works for me is because I played around with it. So trial and error is the best thing. You've got to figure out yourself, your own routine, your own lifestyle, your own body, and what suits your own body. So that's key. This is very individual. It's not a one size fits all. I'm going to stop here. Brinda, Bindrawale, Chitter, B, good to see you as always. The time's probably a bit more convenient in Toronto, so thanks for joining in this live. So Satguru, hello. Jerry, Vaibji ka khalsa, Vaibji ki fateh. S Kamaljeet, WhatsApp karo, sorry, I don't do that. Prabal, hello. So yeah, give me a heart if you can hear me, okay? And hashtag live if you listen to me live, and hashtag replay if you're listening to the replay of this. But back to the point, is the thing that the way I found out what works for me is you got to keep a diary, right? So you get any pad and paper, and I think everyone should have a pad and paper because it's a great way to jot down ideas. Just keep one with you at all times, and then section it off to 2 or 3 sections. And in one section I just list the hours of the day. So if I wake up at 6, I might or wake up at 5. Manpreet, this live is just for you. I'm so glad you joined in. So if I wake up at 5, I'll put in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, which is probably my waking hours, right? So you put whatever your waking hours are. So you listed that there, and that took you what, 10-15 seconds, and then you have your notepad with you. And the reason I'm very kind of old-fashioned and go notepad and pen, because there's a very kinesthetic experience with writing something with a pen and paper and a pad that you don't get from writing things on your phone. And also you can go down the rabbit hole of ending up on Instagram or something else if you're on your phone, whereas if you're on a piece of paper and a pad, there's not much you can do there apart from doodle and whatever you intended to do there. So I'm a big fan of piece of paper and a pen. And one of the guys I listen to, or used to listen to, called Brian Tracy, who's a motivational speaker, he's coached billionaires, and he says most of them use paper and pen as opposed to using notebooks, because focus is really important. So now, I don't speak Punjabi because the majority of my audience are English speaking, and also I'd be quite limited if I spoke Punjabi. But the videos are all uploaded on YouTube, and YouTube has a feature of doing translate. So any language you want, so people in Japan who follow my channel can listen to it and can get Japanese subtitles as they go along. But if you have a question that you answered in Punjabi, you're welcome to DM me, and then I can leave your voice note in Punjabi. Okay, so back to the point. You jot down your hours, then you jot down what you do in those hours. So I have a really cheap £8 watch. I'll show you. It's from Amazon, but it's lasted me years. It's that one. But just typed in kind of water resistant sports watch, and any Casio or anything will be fine. But those have an ability to kind of beep every hour if you want, as a reminder. So you can go to your notepad and write, okay, what did I do in the last hour? You might write get ready, or meditate, or exercise, or watch TV, or whatever it is. And then in the second column next to that, you write your energy levels. So hopefully when you wake up in the morning, your energy levels are pretty high, like mine's at the moment. That's why I'm talking so fast. It could be like a 10 or a 9 or an 8, so you'd write that there. Then you might find you spend a couple of hours with family and you start to get a bit worn out, and not anything against family, but kids can be tiring. So you get to 6 or a 7, or you get to a 5, and then you got to think, okay, well, my energy levels are a bit low. And what will happen when your energy levels are low is you'll do some like crummy activity, which is actually a waste of time. So you might do like watch TV or something else, or you might have unproductive work. No problem. Thanks, Sharma. Thanks for letting me know. And so you might have an unproductive hour, whereas you're better off in that hour just going to sleep, having a nap, doing some meditation, going for a run, something that gives you energy, because then your next 2-3 hours will be more productive, your energy levels will be higher. But the only way you'll be able to see this for yourself, and believe me, is if you track. So at least for a week, you need to track every day how you're using your time and what your energy levels like. And I haven't done this, but another thing you could track is your focus, because there's 3 things to productivity. One is your energy levels. So if your energy levels are low, you're not going to be productive. Second thing is focus, and focus is to do with if you're sitting down to do a hard task. If you're focused, you could potentially get that task done in usually it's 1/3 of the time, if not 1/5 of the time that it would take you if you're unfocused. So cultivating focus is a really important part, and there's things that you got to do and I've got to do to cultivate focus. One of the things is notepad and pen. So, but you got to find what works for you for that. So focus, and the other one is so there's energy, time, and focus. So the last one is obviously you need time to manage time. So you have to create time, and a lot of that comes down to prioritization. So if you do the important things first, the things that Stephen Covey used to say are not urgent but are important, like looking after your health, like sleeping, like doing the strategy type stuff, like planning your week, like leaving time to connect with friends and family and loved ones, and focus on your mental health and physical health and that type of stuff. Those are all things which are not urgent. You're not gonna wake up in the morning and say, oh, I really need to floss, but it's important, because if you don't floss, then you get issues with your teeth, and then you'll suffer when you're older, and you have to get them removed, and you have to talk like this, unless you have dentures. So that's the point. In terms, you've got to log your time. Once you log your time, you can be aware of how you're spending it, and then you can make decisions on, actually, maybe I need to sleep more, maybe I need to sleep at this time, because that that works out better for me. Or I had a really productive day here, what did I do here? Okay, well, I went Gurdwara in the morning, and that really gave me a good start to the day. So actually I'm going to focus that as my priority, and everything else was fit into place. So you got to play around with what works for you, but the only way you're going to know that is by listening to this video, following the steps, and doing it. So implementation is key. Ideas are a dime a dozen. Or in British standards, that would be a penny for every 10p. But it's the implementation that matters. So that's the difference between people who actually succeed at something, internalize something, and change their life, and people who just listen to it and say, "Oh, that was interesting," and then their life is just the same. Which is me. That's why I'm warning you. Don't be one of those people. You gotta try things out, see what works for you, and then take it, use it as a tool. It could potentially change your life. So thanks for listening to today's live. Let me know if you've got any questions, DM me if you want to hear anything. Thanks for your patience. So yesterday what happened was my niece, she was in the water at the beach, and she then started splashing me, and I was wearing shorts, but they weren't swimming shorts. So my phone got wet. And my team, some of who are on this call, like B and Manpreet, who are on this call, they know that my phone's always breaking. I think part of it is because I work from my phone, so I use it a lot, but part of it is, I don't know. So anyway, so she got water in my phone, and all night, I wanted to do a live, but there was 8 of them, or 7 of my crazy family members in my room, and I thought I'd go to the lobby, but my battery was low and I couldn't charge it because it said there's water detected in the charge port and all of that stuff. So fortunately I found another charger and the phone's charged, so I can make these lives again. But thank you to everyone who's been patient and waiting for the content. And this is day 12 of lives, and we're going to make it all the way up to day 30, God willing. So thanks P, Manu, Harps, Brub, Jasper, Guggan, good to see you, bro, hope you're doing well. We need to catch up about training. Bhupinder Singh, Raj, you're a legend. Sukh, N Singh, Nanak Singh, Mehta, Karanveer, Suhi, Bali, Harkor. Alright, Aman, thanks to everyone who joined into the live chat, really appreciate it. And I do, if I don't give you a shout out, I will go back and message everyone who's left a comment. So thank you for everyone who engages with the content, especially Raj, always jumps on the lives. Anyone who leaves a comment, anyone who DMs, love you guys, and I will see you on tomorrow's live chat. Have a great day.